Good day, I am Ashley Rua and I'm going to make a video analysis based on the poem given entitled Invictus by William Ernest Henley. So for the first question, what is your analysis of the poem? Identify the themes that are presented in the poem, then explain each theme. So the themes that I found are chance and faith, uh, pain and suffering, endurance and courageous, and life and death. So for the chance and faith, this theme can be shown when the poet says, feel clutch of circumstance and bludgeonings of chance, and then the last part when he says the master of his fate. So these three lines portray chance and faith that even if he is in the middle of crisis, he still recognizes that he is in charge of his faith. So the poet also recognizes that there are some circumstances that he can control, and there are also some that he cannot control. Next theme is the pain and suffering. The character in the poem faces difficult situations when he says feel clutch of circumstance. So he is in pain in the midst of sufferings that life thrown at him. Then the third is the endurance and the courageous. So he never gives up. Like despite all the sufferings, the pain, the difficulties that he felt, he is still showing courage to be in control of his faith. So he endures and still keeps his head up through the difficulties as shown in the line that says, bloody but unbowed. And lastly is add life and death. So it is actually the main theme of the poem Invictus. So it shows life and death through describing the present life as wrath and tears, and then the death that he expects in the future. For the second question, identify and discuss the literary elements found in the poems. For the figures of speech, I have found simile, metaphor, and alliteration. So when we say simile, it shows a direct comparison. So it usually uses words as like, as the, and such. So the poet uses simile in the line black as the pit. And next is the metaphor. Metaphor compares two things figuratively. So we can see metaphor in the line that says the night that covers me, in which the night is compared to something that covers him. Then lastly, last figures of speech that I found is the alliteration. Alliteration in which consonants are repeated in a line. So the poet uses alliteration when he says pit from pole to pole, in which the consonant P is repeated 3 times. And as for the rhyme scheme, so this poem has 16 lines. It has 4 quatrain stanzas, and the rhyme scheme is A B A B C D C D E F E F G H G H. So the rhyming words are me, be, pole, soul, circumstance, chance, allowed, and bowed, tears, years, shade, unafraid, gate, fate, scroll, and soul. And as for the emotion of the poet, the emotion of the poet is what we call tone. So, and tone of the poem are optimistic and defiant. So, the poet has positive attitude towards life, although he is in pain and sufferings. And he shows a defiant attitude in his last stanza when he chooses to live his life the way he wanted to, even if there would be a punishment of that. And as for the symbolisms, the poet uses symbolism to portray and clarify the message that he wanted to express to the readers. So the line that says, out of the night that covers me, The knight there symbolizes pain. So it is a symbol that represents hardships and difficulties in life. So in us, we represent night as dark and morning as bright. So the poet uses night as a symbol of sufferings because it is commonly used with a negative meaning. And lastly, a message of the poem. So the poem Invictus is an inspiring poem, for it reflects positive attitude towards struggles in life. So it is a kind of poem that can uplift someone's soul, especially when you are going through a difficult time. So it is a poem that shout encouragement to everyone to, keep your heads up, endure difficulties, be ready for challenges in life, and never give up because just like what he said in the last part, that you are the master of your faith and you are the captain of your soul. That's